Hello. No worries. Can you see my screen now? Okay, perfect. Okay, so first of all, I'll thank ASME to have me and speak about my journey. I'll introduce myself a little bit. My name is Pir Arkam. I'm the founder and CEO of the company called Proto21 3D Printing LLC. So the idea over here is climbing the Everest. When I heard the name using Everest there, it's the highest peak on the world. And then climbing Everest is about, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging. So climbing the Everest is just like at the beginning is like Raging Bull telling them that we can fight. So I will just short introduce my company, Proto21 3D Printing LLC. We are a team of 20 people. We provide 3D printing training services. We provide 3D printing services. We provide design engineering services. We manufacture different industry application prototypes. The company name is Proto21, which means 21st century's prototypes. As you can see in the pictures, we have one of the largest 3D printing facility in MENA region. We have a total of 50 3D printers. Now it's every day it's increasing more. We are only 2.5 years old company, surprisingly, which is a little magical. And we have one of the industrial grade 3D printers, which is HP multi-jet fusion that you're seeing on the screen right now. This is my team members. The person standing in front of this HP machine, which is our production manager, Mr. Jamsher, who used to be my colleague in the last company where I used to work as a sales guy in Dubai. I'll share with my journey later on. This is the complete picture of my team that is quite old, maybe 4 months ago, but now we are more than this. As you can see, I said 2.5 years, so that is around 24 months, and we are 20 people. So every other month, we create an opportunity for a job, which is quite overwhelming, and it's kind of a success that ASME wants me to share with all of you and take advantage of it. Moving forward, I would like to introduce from beginning, for the people who are not aware what 3D printing is. I usually get calls from internet, and the calls are like, can you print zebra crossing? I'm like, no, that's not print and packaging. We do manufacturing. 3D printing is not the right word, as in we professionals use. We use more of the word called additive manufacturing to the industry. 3D printing is more highlighted word in the market, but the right term that I suppose is additive manufacturing. So what is 3D printing? 3D printing, the reason why the word 3D is involved in it, the real world that we live in is 3D. And any object around you is 3D. No matter if it is a paper, it has a thickness to it. So that third dimension is what it brings the 3D in it. If you write something on the paper, hello? Okay. One minute, I need to just make Mr. Karam host again, and we can continue. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Karam, is it okay now? I think it's, yeah.
Yes, it's fine. Yes, go ahead, please.
All right. So we continue. We were talking about the 3D printing. So 3D printing actually, it's not a really old technology. I mean, it's just maybe 1980s it started. It's very difficult in the history. Some people say one of the Japanese guys back in 1960s had a patent on 3D printing, but then later on, one of the guys, the owner of 3D Middle East, who's the founder of 3D printing, introduced SLA technology. And the idea here is why we call it additive manufacturing instead of 3D printing is this, it's the opposite of subtractive manufacturing. So as you know, this is a CAD model, any 3D files. So we receive 3D files from architecture, we receive 3D files from many different applications like defense and oil and gas and stuff. And then we convert that 3D file to printable format, which is STL. Again, STL is not something new to the market, not something new to the engineers. It is the same format that was used for CNC. Then we slice, there's a software called slicing. So consider, it's the same concept. Consider a bread and you slice them down. So those each of the bread slices, you combine together, it becomes a 3D object. So imagine that face, we have sliced it and then created a 3D object out of it. So each layer is individual and then successive layers printed on top of it. Then is the additive manufacturing process. Just like you see here, it says AM process. So it's additive, layer by layer, successive layers joined up together, and then it's a 3D model created. There are many benefits of it. But why does it exist? So why does it exist? I'm not really sure on this story, but it is very famous among our engineers that one of the astronauts back in a space station by NASA lost their wrench. And since they cannot afford to send a wrench all the way courier there to NASA until now, SpaceX and these companies can maybe in the future. But at those times, it was not possible. It was very expensive. So there was a need of rapid prototyping. A rapid prototyping is the initial word and terms that were used in long back times, and that was used to create these rapid need of creating a replica of a prototype that is either broken or lost. Imagine a space station, if it is something like that required, you cannot have injection molding, CNC, and these crazy technologies that require a lot of space and a lot of wastage. So they needed something very smart. So that's where the need is started, but now it has been our everyday life. Then why do we need it is very simple. So 3D printing, like on the top left corner, it says A, the material is a block of material. You carve it down, subtractive CNC, which we have also in Proto21, and then create an object. And there's a wastage, of course, because imagine these sculptures that you see in Europe. They're like a big block of a stone, and they carve out and create a model art. But in this purpose, in this process of 3D printing, it's other way around. We have those scrap material, either in the shape of filaments or powder. Then you successively either bind that powder or melt the plastic and change the states of matter and create layer by layer structures to create an object. So this is like a very standard difference between additive and subtractive manufacturing, the right terminology here. Then we have a couple of hundreds of different manufacturing methods. Some are casting methods, some are die cut methods, some are subtractive CNC methods, and some are additive methods that are displayed on the right side of the screen. Now let's move forward to our technologies and services. Like I said, Proto21 has around more than 50 3D printers. We have a range of 3D printing solutions, which is FDM technology. We're very strong at it. We have around more than 40 3D printers, a big lab. That's the array of 3D printers. That was my dream. I will share with you why I did this and how is it successful. Then we have HP multi-jet fusion technology. That is one of the industrial grade 3D printers in the market. It's automotive grade. We make car parts, we make gun parts, we make lots of sophisticated defense application with it. Then we have a stereolithography, which is the most common and very old, one of the pioneer technologies in 3D printing. Then we have color jet printing, which can print a full color. What we make out of them is the best way is to go out in the Instagram, our channel, where you can say Proto21_3D printing LLC as a handle of our Instagram account. And you can see the various crazy models that we do. We're quite famous for the quality and services that we offer around in UAE. And then, like I said, I have already explained what services do we have. We have low volume production, we have designers, we have engineers, we have paint, automotive grade paint facility, we have scale modeling. So let's get on to the different projects that we have done with the top companies. In just really 2.5 years as a boot startup, we have successfully started working with one of the renowned companies in Middle East, which are ADNOC, Abu Dhabi National Oil and Gas Company. We have done these big models. You see the Sheikh lenticular structure. I have never posted this before on any of the social media platform. For some reasons, we are allowed to post it after the end of this year. On the right side, you see these drill bits. That is a concept that we had. So we're artistic. I wanted to be artist when I was small, when I was a little guy, and I ended up in engineering. So 3D printing was kind of a place where I can find all of them. And then we worked with Dubai Police in the COVID times. And in COVID times, we 3D printed face shields because we were all over the news channels. We were being credited by Dubai government and many channels to accredited us for helping Dubai Police in these hard times, because the supply chain from China was broken due to certain reasons, and they had to get them 3D printed locally. And since we had this big huge farm of 40 printers, we can produce thousands of face shields for them at demand and customized to their requests. We also work with Ministry of Defense, Abu Dhabi. We made one of the largest 3D printed map that is actually, so we don't restrict ourselves as manufacturing company. We create, I mean, anything that comes to our way. Sometimes a mother is calling that her daughter's Barbie doll arm is broken. Sometimes somebody's asking us to print a part that will go on a plane. So this one particularly was like a map that we received, and we converted Google Earth data to 3D file, and that 3D file was sliced and created a printable STL file, and we were able to 3D print this whole map. Of course, this whole map cannot be printed in one piece. It was a 3 meters by 5 meters, a huge map, and it took us around 1 month of printing that and then assembly together and get that done. So now let's talk about the journey of Proto21. It's an overwhelming journey. I was so busy in making my company bigger and better that I almost forgot until today morning when I was making this presentation for you people that January 2012, you see on the left side, this is my 3D printer that I made as a first 3D printer in Pakistan. 2012 as my bachelor's studies final year project in MENA University, and it was in January 2012. And if you can see, January 2021 is just 2012 on the left, 2021 on the right, and now I have a team of 20 people. They're engineers, they're like accounts, they're painters, they're scale modelers. There are many of these are Pakistanis, Indians, Egyptians, from Philippines, from India, and all of those countries. And we have on the right side, what you see is actually a project that is kind of confidential right now. It's 1,001 pieces, 3D printed parts, and they're going to assemble together to make a large model of 32 meters. It's a facade that is going to be in Dubai Mall. The store is under launch. Once it is launched, I'll share the videos on my social media channels that you can always check. So I'm surprised, and it's overwhelming process. I have mentioned something here, which says embracing the challenges. Dare to dream big and dream deep. Wake up and live it. Stop dreaming. You need to make your dreams come true. You need to wake up from sleep and make it happen. So this whole workshop, webinar, whatever you name it, we're going to discuss all these aspects. How I always dreamt, I envisioned literally the way I'm sitting here looking at my labs. I envisioned exactly the same, how I wanted to be after 10 years, after 8 to 9 years in my life. Well, it's too early. I had envisioned maybe 20 years, but it's too early, but it's a nice journey. So let's go on. So the journey of Proto21, although I have studied in the United States, Germany, Turkey, Pakistan, and then I came to Dubai. I had these experiences all my life so that I could start my final, my love of life, 3D printing company. I used to sketch this logo that you see, Proto21. That's actually in my office up there. If you see that logo is on the roof of my place, and it's everywhere here. My employees are a little overwhelmed with it. This logo, I used to sketch when I used to study back in MENA University in Pakistan. I used to think of this logo. I want to make it further, and I would have one day a company that would have a print farm and we'll have these number of technologies. I will create jobs and will create the fresh grads, because as a fresh grad, I had issues of a lot of, like, people will ask you, do you have experience? And I never had. So I said, I will start giving experiences to people. And on the left side down there, you see, this is where I started in April 2018 in Dubai, my company. You see these pictures, I had only 2 printers. First was Prusa, another CR10 3D printers. So 2.5 years ago, April 2018, I had only 2 machines, and now I have more than 50, and it's overwhelming journey. On downstairs, you see on bottom left corner, these are the first few people that joined my company. On the right, you see the way the starting garage, the traditional entrepreneur garages that you always hear about. The Google had a garage and everybody had a garage. So this is kind of a garage that we had. It was just the slabs and 2 printers and just like some random papers here and there, and just 2 guys. It's me. I used to take care of business. There was another guy, Ajmal, who was with me as my first employee. He left for certain reasons back to India due to his medical conditions. But as in general, this is where we started on the left bottom side. Then slowly and gradually, of course, as the time passes by, you keep on doing R&D. You create different business revenues. You keep on building your websites, your online presence. You have to be, they say, entrepreneurship is like jumping off a cliff and coming down, landing with a parachute. You know what I mean? You have to create a parachute and then land down. So it's like you don't have to give up. As when you start, there's so many challenges that we will discuss now. So it says, challenges I faced to initiate my startup and how did I beat them? So we will discuss very in detail how is it possible that you have a dream and then you want to be there. It's not going to be an easy journey. Setting up a business is not everybody's pool, remember. If you're ready to have sleepless nights, if you're ready to have empty stomach, if you're ready to have empty pockets, if you're ready to have, hard times with your social life, only then you should get into business. And it's just not easy, remember that. You have to embrace the struggle. So you have to be having a bright smile on your face when you want to welcome challenges, guys. So let's start from the first thing is making right decisions. It's a challenge, remember, like making right decision is like, you can never know what is the right decision. I mean, choosing black or white, for example, a color for your logo. How would you make sure it's the right decision? Choosing the right technology, choosing the right people, choosing the right partners, and then choosing right clients. I mean, choosing right industries. It should come out of your gut feeling, you know? Like if you really are passionate about it, you should just take it and then make them right. For example, one great man said, I don't make right decisions. I make decisions and then make them right. I 100% agree with this. I love this quotation and I always think of it and I apply it. Because of course you have to go for the whole process of choosing the right thing to do. But in the end, you have to take a leap of faith. You have to risk. If you don't take risks, you cannot achieve your dreams. The dreams, the bigger goals come down with the same thing. Then it's about building the right team. Please remember, you can never find, it's not machines, right? So you can never find the right people, like 100% as you need. You have to mold yourself, you have to mold around them and make them work for you with loyalty and sincerity. I can assure in my company, all of the people that they work with their true heart. And that's when you don't act like a boss, right? When you act like a leader, I shouldn't say act, but I said when you behave like a leader, when you take responsibilities of every actions in the company, and you don't use a blame game, then that's when people feel comfortable around you. They want to stay with you. They want to work with you with that 100% loyalty. Because when you're starting a company, it's like a baby. And imagine you have a maid that you leave your baby with, and if that maid you're not paying well, you're not being kind and nice to her, you're not taking care of her, will she take care of your baby? No. So you have to be fair in life. Sincerity, loyalty is a not one-way road. It's a two-way road. So you need to be loyal to them first so that you expect loyalty back. If they're putting 100%, remember, you have to put 1000%. Because it's not their business, right? It's their job. Business is yours. You have to take responsibility of it to make it successful. Then it's about managing cash flow. This is where most of the startups fail. I truly believe. I had some startup concepts and ideas and I failed, of course. And that was purely because we were like under the legacy of 3D printing. The 3D printing can do everything. 3D printing can change the world. Well, it's just, let's be honest, it's just a tool, an essential tool of manufacturing industry. It's not industry. It's not the whole industry. You know what I mean? Like it's a manufacturing industry. It's one of the tools. So managing cash flow is all about learning accounts, the numbers. You should be good at it. And it doesn't come because you're an engineer, remember. You need to understand the business mechanics. You need to have some leader that can guide you through how you can understand the business. Just like we engineers look at a drawing and see how it can be manufactured. Similarly, businessmen and business specialists and professionals, they look at a business and see how they can make it success. And they can predict what will be the cash, what will be the bank, what will be your sales, what will be how much you should invest in marketing. All of these techniques are really important to be successful and have a successful business. Then is work-life balance. This is a crazy question that I always hear from a lot of people, that how do you manage? I don't believe in work-life balance, right? There's no such thing. Either you have work life or you have a social life, right? I mean, in a business, in particular business, when you're working as a job, you have 9 to 6, that's fine. But when you want to do extra, when you want that extra mile, let's say 20 hours a day. If you think of working 20 hours a day, that I did work 20 hours a day, maybe 6-8 months I did that, then how can you have social life? You barely get time to sleep. You barely get time to eat well. You barely get time to go in toilet, literally. So work-life balance is all about priorities, remember. What's your priority? Do you love something that much that you can just ignore everything else, all of your interests, and then work for it 100% like a bullseye? In that scenario, it's always about priorities. If your priority is that what you work, and then there's no any balance like that. So you need to like work extra to have extra success. You know what I mean? Then it's about managing expectations. I would like to share something that you might not have heard before, and I think of it all the time. You don't have to manage expectations, actually. The reason why, it's not your job to make people happy. Let's say it's not my job to make my employees, my clients, my partners happy. My job is to be fair. My job is to give my 100%. There are people out there that even if you're 100% fair, they will never be happy. And because to match their expectations, you'll be wasting your time. There are many clients like this who are always expecting something crazy out from you with a low budget. So they will come back to you and say, Pir, I have a budget of, let's say, just 200 dirhams, and I need tomorrow the print. I need this, and please do it for me. What people do is like go crazy. They lose everybody's energy here, all the employees' energy here, and lose your energy, try to work for it, and you lose in the end. So don't do that. I mean, you need to like select what people you want to work with. You have a right to select what clients you want on board. If you don't find the right clients, first find the right clients and then talk about business. Then we have fraudulent clients. Now, I had a lot of experiences in UAE, but trust me, if you're fearless, if you know you're on right, if you know you can fight, I walked into police stations like 5 to 6 times. Every single time I walked in, I had an invoice, I had email conversations, I had a process of the project, I had everything, and I walked in over here, I'm so lucky to be in UAE, in Dubai. I'll discuss that in detail later. But every single time I walked in, police helped me. It's surprising, guys. I lived in Germany, Turkey, United States. I'm pretty sure no police officer over there would just support me like the way they support me here. I walked in with an invoice and said, this guy hasn't paid me from past 6 months, 8,000 dirhams. And I need my money and I need your support. And he's keep on ignoring it. And I have a startup. It's a baby. It's going to die. I need to pay salaries to my employees. I cannot live with it. So he just called him and said, brother, why aren't you paying him? He said, I'm about to pay. It's going to be this time, this time. He said, are you going to pay or you want to visit police station right now? So it just worked. And I'm so thankful for UAE government. Every single time I have an issue, you should know your business right. If you're not able to support and protect your family, if you're not able to support, then don't have a family. Like, don't have a business. Don't hire people if you cannot support them in the hard times. If you're not fearful, if you don't know your strengths, if you don't know your rights, please don't get into it. Then it's my market situation. Okay, so here's where people who complain too much come in. Things will go wrong. I was with somebody other day and I asked him, well, he had a plan to move to the United States. And I say, why you haven't done it so far? This is your 4 years old dream to be in New York City, working like the Wolf of Wall Street and working in the financial district and stuff like this. Why haven't you done so far? He said, I'm waiting for Trump to go so that I can start. And I was like, wait, what did you say? Trump, what did that has to do with your dreams? Like, I don't get it. He said, oh no, I'm a Pakistani and I'm a Muslim. If I go there, there'll be problems and troubles. I said, he barely knows you. I mean, how does Donald Trump knows that you're Muslim and Pakistani, you're there, stuff like this. He said, no, if I go, it will this like this political situation. I said, okay, these situations will be staying all rest of your life. What after Trump comes another Trump? You're gonna wait 4 more years for your dream to start? That's ridiculous. That's nonsense. I mean, if you don't bring in excuses because you're not ready to try. First, you haven't tried yet. How do you know that you will fail? And first of all, you have to fail. If you don't fail, you can never have success. Remember, nobody in my life, or if you have an example, please give me, that just had success like this. You have to have a failure. You have to stumble and fall. You have to fall bad and break your bones. And then you can raise up and be a phoenix. So when COVID hit to my company, I have a short story, like I'll share with you on later stage. But you don't have to give up. You have to work hard. Like if you remember, I showed you the Dubai police face shields. That was during COVID-19. I did not know what to do with this factory and my people. There were like around 9 people then, since we hired 8 guys in 2020. I did not know what to do with them and how will I pay their salaries and they with the families and stuff. I had no idea. So I said, I need to find an idea. I'm the leader. If I just close my company like rest of the companies, I'm not going to make my dream to be the largest 3D printing company in Middle East and Africa. I literally went on. The first day I had an issue with the COVID. The first day I was on the road. I called here and there, Dubai police and the places, do you need face shields? Because I saw on the internet that you can 3D print them. And China was blocked. So I saw an opportunity and I used that opportunity to offer my services that would help the pandemic and at the same time my employees and my company. And I can reach where I want to reach after 5 years as my projected cash flows and projected goals of my life. So don't make market situations, social situations, family situations. Who knows me personally knows how difficult is my family, by the way. But like, don't bring these things to your in middle of. So anything they say impossible is actually, this is right. I am possible. The only thing between you and the possible thing is like I am, yourself. It's nobody else. Please don't blame game people, blame game market, blame game weather, blame game here there. I used to wake up at 4 o'clock in Germany. I remember that was like minus 11 degrees and I used to go to my job because I couldn't afford living. So never bring any situation like this and make it as a blame game. That's what I want to say. And challenges, you will have challenges, you have to face them. Let's go to the next question. 3D printing opportunities in UAE market. That's really interesting, right? So let's start from the first. It says, His Highness Sheikh Mohammad bin Rashid Maktoum wants to make Dubai as a 3D printing hub of the world. And why? As I'm one of the fans of Sheikh Rashid Maktoum, Sheikh Mohammad bin Rashid Maktoum. And when I was in Turkey, while I was studying there, I read this article on internet that His Highness wants to make Dubai as a 3D printing hub. And I always wanted to make a 3D print. And I did not know what Dubai is in those times. So I used to see this internet pictures, in the pictures, I used to see these skyscrapers and the big city and stuff like this. But I never thought of going there to start a company. Later on, when I realized the number of exhibitions in this city and the way the city is built, I was fascinated about it. So I traveled here and I visited this place and I saw immense potential that 3D printing can bring. First thing first, I studied about it. I read on internet and I read on many different possible platforms where it said Dubai has a major imports as in manufacturing, but it has very least exports because all the manufacturing giants, like traditional manufacturing, Dubai is a new place. It's a new city that has rose from desert. And it has all the latest technologies, latest infrastructure, latest, I think none like traffic system like Dubai has is elsewhere in the world. So I realized this place is something new. And when there's a new city bringing up, they cannot invest in traditional old methods of manufacturing. They would need future, it's a future city. It's a city of the future. It would need the future technologies. And then there's like plenty exhibitions here. It's a place where all the product ideas, the new ideas, and the best professionals in the world come here together and make them. And on top, it was also my personal reason of, it was nearby Pakistan. A Pakistani person can live, Indian Pakistani people can live here easy, and it can come and go. It was easy visas and stuff. So I found it like a fascinating place and I started here for this reason. And then 3D printing opportunities in UAE market. It's about, there's so many exhibitions here. Like I said, every company in the world has a headquarters here. And they need to, every big company has an R&D, you see? So 3D printing has the highest opportunities in the metropolitan cities like London, like New York, like San Francisco, like Singapore, like these top cities in the world, and Dubai, of course. So these top cities in the world would need 3D printing because they need fast. There's so much competition. They need fast new products to launch. They need the products to the market. The space they need the fastest. So 3D printing aids in that particular process of Industry 4.0. Then it's about this. Dubai is just not on the newspapers, by the way. So Dubai is STI, Science, Technology, Innovation Policy. So they have this policy which is based on bringing in new 3D printing technologies and new futuristic technology like aerospace, talk about flying cars, talk about robotics, talk about bionics, future technologies. All of these kind of technologies are very much welcomed by the government. It's like a policy in the government that they have to integrate a percentage of each of these technologies in their government because they know that the future is that. And His Highness has a beautiful vision for this country and for the betterment of the people. I remember one of his 60 Minutes, that's a famous YouTube documentary. I hear a lot of successful people like this, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammad bin Rashid Maktoum is one of my inspirations. And I remember somebody asked him, why do you need everything fast? Why need the best skyscraper? Why need the best education? Why need best medical? Why need best traffic infrastructure? Why need everything best? He said, why not? And then he asked, why do you need it fast? Why you're in a hurry that you need it tomorrow? He said, I don't want my people to live after 10 years a good life. I want them to live good life now. You see? So he knows that in the future, the technologies will be like very much like these technologies will be the future, and people from all over the world will come and invest in Dubai So he knows if he wants to make 3D printing, he sees a potential. He knows, he's a smart man. The Dubai government knows that 3D printing is a future factory. And when you talk about careers and 3D printing, why wouldn't you? You are in 2021. You are young and free. Like I'm talking to students right now, young engineers. You are young and free. Like you haven't started the life yet. I mean, you just graduated. You don't know the world out there. It's wild out there. Remember. And 3D printing is the future. They're looking at one of the posts that is quite a little bit overwhelmed, but it said around $2 billion will be the market value of Middle East for 3D printing. That's crazy, right? So why wouldn't you? It's a future technology, and it's the technology that we will use to build colonies on Mars. So think of it. And 3D printing has immense potential, has huge opportunities. I'm working same like the way I used to work in the beginning of this company when I was one only. I'm working the same number of hours as still now because I know I want to keep on going further. I want to have bigger factory than this, what I have now. I want to have 100 printers. I want to have 40 people, and I want to keep on going. I don't know where I'll stop. I want to have more locations in the world. I want to have in Saudi. I want to have in UK. By 2030, I need 5 international factories of Proto21. That's my vision for now. So why not you? Success formula. All right, this is interesting. From me, is like passion is number one on top. If you don't have passion, you wouldn't work more than 9 hours. You will drain out. If you don't have passion for something, don't even try. Then you need a plan. Of course, passion alone, like I have passion for watches, but I don't have a plan, so it won't work. I have passion for horse riding. Hello? Hello? Okay, sure, I'll finish. Yeah. All right, so we'll wrap up fast. Passion, plan, execution is very important. People talk too much. They say we'll do this, we'll do that, we will do, like, you know, they have always like a plans to do things, but they don't do anything. Like they need to, okay, push-ups is a good idea. See, I don't like ideas. I like execution of ideas. If you have 100 ideas, but you have 2 good executions, these 2 good execution will bring up something. And then is resilience, not giving up. So all these together from my side is a success formula. And before the passion, I would just like need to find your passion, you need to have belief in yourself. Like you need to work on your mind, like just like you work out your body, you need to work out your mind. So that works with when you have a right character. You need to build the right character. You need to build you need to have successes. You need to like work hard, and that's when you will believe in yourself, when you have succeeded something. So you need to have small successes built up, baby steps, so that you have belief in yourself. Then you have to find your passion. This is very important. People want to like take not long and just want to like start with something they like. No, like is not enough. You need to love what you do, and take your time for that. It took me like long time. It took me like around 25 years of age to, I mean, that's all like 25 years of my life to know what I really want to start and what I really want to do. Then it's a plan, a strategy, and you make sure it's a big plan. It's just not a plan of, okay, I'll go home, I will start whatever, and I will have this much of. No, you need to have big plans, the dreams that scares yourself before they scares others. And then you execute, and then you need to work hard. Don't remember like, if you don't work hard, if you're not ready to work hard, nobody just like became a billionaire, millionaire out of luck. Well, they did, but you don't know them, right? But you know always Elon Musk, who did not sleep, who used to work 18 hours a day, who used to work maybe 120 hours a week. So you remember those names, right? So you want to live a life like an ordinary man, or you want to live a life like someone. In the end, I would recommend to all engineers who dream to build a startup. This is very interesting and important. As per my experience and little knowledge in this topic. So what I can say to you is, Don't study for the sake of grades only. A piece of paper of degree will not qualify you for a job. You need to understand the concepts. That's most important. An average student with the right concepts will go longer, farther. When I hire here, of course, degree is an important part of it. But when I hire here, my first question not where you studied and what you studied. My first question, what you can do for my company. If you just know books, if you just have a degree with like 4 GPA and you're a topper in your college, but you don't know how to build a circuit, if you don't know how to operate a machine, if you don't have a hands-on experience, that's not going to take you anywhere. Hands-on experience is everything. At least for me, it's more than everything. The skill is something that nobody can take away from you. The knowledge is something that nobody can take away, but both together can take you long, can take you far. Then it's very important to find your passion at this young age. I was lucky to find my passion in 2012 when I was finalizing my bachelor's in engineering at MENA University. I saw this 3D printer in the United States during my scholarship, and when I looked at it, and I fell in love, like love at first sight. And I said, this is what I want to do rest of my life, because this is arts and engineering combined together. And then you have to come out of your comfort zone. Like, you need to challenge yourself all the time, constantly. I worked in McDonald's. I worked in Germany. I worked in Abercrombie & Fitch as a store, as a associate. I did sales job, marketing job. I used to walk like, I remember 3.5 kilometers from metro station in Turkey to walk towards my office. You need to like welcome those challenges and see how hard you want it, you know? It's very important that you come out of your comfort zone. Let's say, leave this country if you're living with your parents. Please go out and be independent, you know? Like, you cannot rely on people and then think of people to rely on you because you rely on them. That doesn't work. You need to be like independent. You need to be alone, you know? You need to be able, a leader is not in a group, a leader is the individual, you see? And it's like not dependent on anybody, not the market, not the situation, not the weather, not the health. You need to be fit. You need to work hard. You need to be mentally okay. You need to sleep well. You need to take care of all of those things and make sure that you're giving right time to each and every part of your life. When you're young, you can sleep just 2 hours and go on. And then in the end, I would say, before I hand over to you, to Mr. Karam, is welcome failure. This term, welcome failure. People are talking about, I need to welcome success. I want to be successful. It's very important to fail. You must have heard the speech of Alibaba's the founder of Alibaba. I forgot his name, but he said that he applied like 100 times to different jobs and he always failed. He applied to a lot of universities, always failed. But you need to welcome it. You should be prepared that it's going to come and you have to face it. So now we should start question and answer sessions. Mr. Karam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arkam. Really, it's a very interesting webinar, and we appreciate that you shared your experience, and really interesting. We have received many questions, really interesting also as well. So I just want to go through quickly. From Mr. Sharif Ismail, he just asked a very nice question, and we always argue on this, me and you. Do you need to have a huge amount of money to start your own company?
No.
Exactly. Why? Tell him why.
I'll tell you my story.
Yeah.
Huge amount of money to start a company? Haven't you seen Google's first Google, right? I'm not talking about Proto21. It's not the right example for all of you. You should look at Google. You should look at Uber. You should look at Tesla. You should look at PayPal. Have you seen Google's garages, the first garage? Do you think they had a lot of money?
Correct.
No. I personally sold my car to have 9,000, not for the company, to live, to pay my salary, like to just pay my rent and take care of my food and take care of those things. I started a company from one printer. It cost you $1,000. Most of us must have like a $2,000 iPhones. It's not about the money. You need to find ways to generate money. Of course, to get bigger, you need a partner. But if you rely on that mentality that you need only money to be big, that's wrong. Like, we're not Donald Trump that gets $1 million as a starting money to start a business. You need to like start from scratch, a bootstrap model. So I don't think so that is important.
Agree. So another question from Mr. Sharif Ismail. I will not let you answer it for the time because it was already mentioned in the presentation for the when did you start the company. So we'll go to the third question from him. Do you have the opportunity for university students to do internships in your company?
Yes, and many times. I mean, we welcome them. I guess until now we had more than 6 people who has been internees in Proto21, and they have learned good skills. And I remember some of them have used them as their semester projects. And yeah, we support a lot of the students. We many times 3D print free of cost models.
Yes.
I'm sending one 3D printer free of cost to MENA University back in Pakistan. So we support education, and any students who have some projects, we always help them with special prices, special discounts.
All right, another question from Mr. Jawed. To what extent educational and family background play their role in the entrepreneur mindset? So educational and family background. I
mean, of course, they both are essential things. Family background, when I'm in the interviews, I ask people, what does your father do? What does your mother? So it just tells you what environment they were grown up.
Yeah.
So if it's a Harvard, why the success ratio of Harvard people is high? Because, of course, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, all these guys like graduate from these universities are successful for a reason, because of one more important thing in the process. It's very important to be surrounded by like-minded people. It's very important to be surrounded by successful people, so that you can absorb by subconscious mind their nice things. So nice university, nice environment, nice family is very essential. 100%, it helps.
Yeah. Another question from Mr. Mohammad Kharoob. He has 2 interesting questions. The first one is, what is the required license to start a 3D printing business in Dubai or in UAE?
No special license.
No
yeah,
special.
I'm not sure about the new setup these days in UAE. I heard that without a local partner, you can have 100% ownership of a company. Yeah. You can always go for this. There's an LLC and there's FZE. So you can go for the FZE company that is 100 free zone whole companies. Sorry, I'm not sure if there's any special requirement of 3D printing license. It's just a standard trade license, industrial trade license with the 3D printing new word in it. By the way, Proto21 was the first company. In the license, it says 3D printing company. So any new 3D printing company coming up, it can have 3D printing in the category in there. Yeah. So they have added the category very, very recently.
What about the limitations of the 3D printers, and how do you overcome that? And does the more expensive printer help? Also, this needs.
Yeah, this is a nice question. It's a nice question that says, does the expensive 3D printer help? You know, it's not about the ride. It's about the rider. This is from Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious. So if you have $1 million printer, for example, and if you don't know how to size the file right, how to orient the model right, what to make the certain parameters, you will fail. If one guy is in Lamborghini, another guy is in a normal Toyota, if he knows how to switch gears at the right moment, maybe he will succeed. It's about the skills. I believe in the skills more than the investment and then the degrees and all those things. All the printers in Proto21, you know, I can tell it's Prusa's, but we have changed the whole electronics. We have changed all their extruders. We have 3D printed their extruders in our HP printer so that they can print high grade materials.
Yeah.
So it's not about expensive printers. If that was, I have a straight away, Proto21 is a case for you. We didn't have any expensive printers under HP. So, I mean, the challenges we come across is through, there are a lot of limitations with the process. I mean, I have a maximum batch size of 20 by 20 centimeters. Then the engineering comes in. The skills
Yes.
come in. We put aluminum, we do lots of different post-processing methods so to make them strong and big sizes.
Actually, this point, Mr. Pir, needs more time to be discussed, I believe.
Correct.
And also for Sankaram, we will also think about it, and we don't have answer right now to make webinar series for 3D printing, but we will try to do that. We will discuss it. And just for Mr. Pir, Professor Bawani, just he made no comment. He said, "I am so proud and inspired to see the hard work and success of Pir, who is our alumni." So just I wanted to mention this.
I would like to add something here.
Okay.
If I just straightforward say, because of Mr. Bawani, I'm here where I am today. Can you believe, Mr. Karam? Because I was a telecommunication graduate, and I went to the telecommunication teachers and I told them, I want to make a 3D printer. And they said, sorry, rejected. You're a telecommunication graduate. You cannot have a 3D printer as your final project because this is a mechatronics subject.
Yeah.
So Mr. Bhani was a dean out there in those times. And I went to him and he said, Pete, you're going to make it. I'm going to allow you to use all my facilities, allow you to use all my labs. You can go and make any items in there. I will get you the scholarship. He supported me like fully, you know. And if he did not support me, then I would not make the first printer in 2012, and I would not be having Proto21 today. So I'm really thankful to Mr. Bhavani, Professor Dr. Bhavani Shankar. Thank you, sir.
All right. Respect to all of you. There is one. All right. Mr. Sharif Ismail is asking how to apply for the license. It's just very simple. Just you have to look for different free zones or the landline. So this is a long time and it's not our topic. So sorry for not answering this. Just I want to. This is good. Should startups be engineers to start 3D printing business? What do you think?
No. Engineering is one of the parts of it. Depends what's the vision of the company. If you want to buy and sell 3D printers, you don't need to be engineer. You can hire engineers.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, now, I mean, most of my time previously was 90% business and 90% business, and then not 90, let's say 70% business and 30% engineering. Now I'm shifting towards more engineering side every day that I'm working these days. So I'm working more on 60% I'm doing engineering because I want to improve the productivity of my company. So being an engineer to start a 3D printing company, yes, will help. But without engineering, starting a 3D printing company is not impossible. You can always hire engineers.
Yeah, Mr. Sharif Ismail is asking how to apply for the internship, not for the license. Sorry, Sharif. So how can they apply for the internship at your company?
For us to allow an internee to be with us and learn is not a simple method. We need to go through long process and make sure that whosoever is among us is fitting with the environment. And please send us an email, info@proto21.ae. I'll go through it. And if it works out, we'll call you and we can have you on board.
Yeah, so it's info@proto21, correct?
Yeah, info@proto21.ae.
Perfect. So because now we are running from the time, I just want to thank you all for the attendance. First of all, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Pir, for the time that you give us, and really appreciated the experience that you have and how you shared this success story. We are so excited also to make more inspiring seminars like this. Hope this seminar was useful and interesting. We are trying to as well to do more webinars on regular basis, and maybe we'll try to cover different mechanical engineering topics and areas. Mr. Arkam, do you have any final word?
I would say very important that remember you're going to spend 9 hours of your day and you have 24 hours in your day. Among 24 hours, you sleep like 6 to 8 hours, like take that off. Then you will work 8 to 9 hours a day, rest of maybe traffic, gym, food, family. But imagine how much hours you will spend, major part of your day you will spend in the factory, in your office, wherever. But if you don't enjoy it, just don't waste your time. I mean, follow what you love to do and go for it. And it's you can achieve. I mean, following your passion, you can achieve everything. I just saw a few days ago Elon Musk was fixing his car himself because he could not afford. Imagine, where is he now? So magics happen, dreams come true. I myself, many times I'm like, wake up. I mean, all these factory, all these labs and people. I didn't have money to have my dinners like 3 years ago. I didn't have money to buy a car. So I mean, it's magical. You need to just work hard and stay resilient. You'll make it. So just don't lose hope.
Thank you, Mr. Arkam. We have already recorded the seminar and we will post it on our channels. Please try to follow the ASME UA section on the LinkedIn or the social media channels, and I believe you will find the seminar for your reference. Thank you all for attendance. Thank you, Mr. Arkam, again. Hope we meet again. Thank you all. Thanks.
Bye-bye.